Morning. How you doing, Ray? How's it going? Morning, Bree. Oops. We're full again on the coffee pods. Too full. Morning, Sloth. Becca, what are we saving you from? Morning, Priscilla. Morning, Liz. Wait, what are we saving you from? Anybody? Bueller? Do we know? Did something happen? What was it? What happened? Who hurt you? My kids. Oh, okay, I will. Morning, Avery. How's everyone doing from work? But Becca's a stay-at-home mom. Not that that's not work, but I don't usually call it work because I love her kids too much to call it work. That's just a personal... I do believe that stay-at-home moms are working. I just don't generally call it work. I think it's more... Actually, and maybe people disagree with me on this, but I genuinely think that in my mind, I don't want to call it work because I don't want the children to hear that they're at work, their Fight Club. Yeah, I don't want, like, I never called, when I was a nanny, I didn't call it work either. Like, I would wear, like, certain clothes to go get the kids when I was nannying, and I would be like, it's my nanny costume. You know, I tried not to let them think that it was work to care for them. You know what I mean? Brie, I know you didn't know she's a stay-at-home mom, so I don't think this is against you. I'm just explaining. Battling insurance, HR changed. Hey, Mom. Mom is definitely at work, aren't you, Mom? I'm pretty sure my mom is at work. Pretty sure. I could be wrong, though. Yes, she is. Okay, I was right. Ask me if I put the incorrect cup under there. You betcha I did. But that's okay. We can't be on our game all the time. 100% agree with that. Also, you're never saving me from work for sure. Oh, I am saving you? What do you do, if you don't mind me asking? If you're not allowed to say, totally fine. You're in between patients. Any good ones today? Any wild patients? You probably can't say. I mean, I guess you could say, like, yes or no. You can't say what happened, though, because HIPAA. Yes, wild patients. Okay, well, it is what it is, right? You do what you gotta do. She's a doctor. The people are weird. I put on accents sometimes. Hey, Mina. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And to the people who are new here, who will inevitably ask, yes, I am wearing a Christmas sweater. Yes, it is summer. No, I'm not going to take it off. Morning, Monique. Fight with the daily... Oh, I work from home, administration, finance for Children's Hospital. Oh, wow. That sounds stressful, to be honest with you. I also have the Olympics on, and I'm in my PJs. You can multitask. I had a guy come in a wheelchair, all decked out in the colors of Jamaica. He looked very colorful. That sounds fun. I don't think... Oh, there's Anya. Anya right below you would probably decorate her wheelchair, I'd imagine, with something cool. He looked very colorful. That's more fun than someone who does bad things, though. I know sometimes you deal with the bad kind of crazy. Yeah, seriously, Brie. You just misplaced them. That's funny. Just misplace them a little, you know? Brie's like, I want to keep my job so that I don't have more bills. That's what she wants. I heard it. I heard her say that. It's not true. I didn't hear her say that, but I'm going to pretend I heard her say that. Oof, I can't even imagine that. What am I doing? I'm making coffee. I need to focus. Bye, Mom. See you later. University of Michigan is what I assume that means. although I don't really know. They're in the trash and set on fire. Nice. Bree's the winner for the day, to be honest. Wow. She just cleared everyone's medical debt for their kids. Don't tell her boss, but sounds good to me. You know what we made for dinner last night? We made chicken Caesar wraps, and they were so good. University of Minnesota, oops, sorry. And we used these Mediterranean wraps that we found, so not like tortilla wraps, other ones. They were so good, so tasty. 10 out of 10, would recommend making a chicken Caesar wrap for dinner. Wrangler? Is that what they're called, the wraps? I don't think so. I know you haven't made a shot of espresso in a while, but you don't have to make funny noises about it. You're gonna be okay. You can handle it. Come on, little espresso machine. You're gonna be okay. You can do it. Oh, you're trying to figure out what got filtered. Well, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. Hello. Tomorrow, you guys, is going to be a wild day for me. Tomorrow I am playing single mom to 2 children. I have obviously taken care of children a ton of times, but I think that seeing as these 2 are obsessed with their mom, they're going to be sad when she goes away for a few. But it's okay. They will be fine. They will survive living with Aunt Sasha for a couple of days. It's gonna be okay. It is different. It's very different. That's right, you guys. Yeah, we're gonna have fun. Their cousins are newly obsessed with slime, so I'm going to bring slime. I know, right? I'm gonna bring slime, and then maybe we'll have a play date with their cousins, and then yeah, we'll be fine. I know that they're gonna cry. Did we get the coffee situation figured out? We did. She cleaned her old Nespresso machine for me so I can bring pods and we can have coffee. They are 4 and 1.4-ish. He's about like 16 months. His birthday is in May, so he just turned 1 in May. But he's walking everywhere. She basically said, yeah, they kind of entertain themselves. Every once in a while you have to gently correct Ethan and tell him not to go upstairs because he can do that now. That's hilarious, Becca. I know it feels like he was just born and he's over a year old and running around the house. He took off running. When he started walking, he was like, oh, I could have walked before. I was just too busy crawling, because he just, it's very funny. He didn't like hobble. He just got up and started going, and we were like, oh, okay. You want to walk? You're going to walk today? Good job, buddy. He's a very good walker. Also, something really interesting is that, oh, good morning. Both of her kids are very musical. Both of them. Like, we already knew Zoe was, but when Ethan talks, he like sing-songs his words. He goes, thank you. It's very cute. If someone would have asked me, I would have sworn that she was 2 and he was 4 months. No, she's 4 now. Mina, she's 4 already. She's not even a toddler anymore. She's a full-blown kid. She's going to school in September. Crushing my soul. School. I know. It's wild. I mean, it's part-time school, obviously. She's not going to go all day, but still. It's wild to think about, you know?
The horror.
The horror. It's a true horror. How could this happen to me? How could she grow so much? On this, the day that I have to tomorrow go to see her. So close. So close. Did you see your coffee? Yes. Oh, okay, good. I just want to make sure you got it. But anyway, we'll read. Does anyone know what this is? Can you guys see this vault thing? I know, Heidi. I know. We all feel the same way, Heidi. I feel like we were just on Baby Watch. Yeah, they're very close. Zoe's birthday is in July, so she just turned 4. Yeah, the vault thing. What is this? Does anyone know what this is and why it's here?
What thing?
There's like a countdown in the top of the screen. It's an 8-hour countdown to something. What? I don't know.
Ominous.
Yeah. What's happening in 8 hours? I have no idea. 8 hours from now is what? Like,
maybe an Olympics thing.
Yeah, I hope so, Liz. I hope so. All the Swifties are saying Taylor's gonna release a new album. That would be good. That would be nice. Oh, it's exclusively for people who battle on hair. Oh, we all know I don't do that. They always try to get me to participate in those things. They're like, you have really good live stats. You should consider participating. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I have no interest in playing your silly games with some rando. Yeah, well, that would be different, Mina. No, I'm not participating. No, I'm sorry, guys. I'll do it with Mina or another slime friend of mine, but I won't do it with strangers. I don't have any interest in doing any of those. Like, I've seen some of them cross by my page before, and they're basically people just like begging you to like or share or gift their side of the thing. And I'm like, we just do this as a part of our community. You don't have to do that stuff. Like, we're here, yeah, we're here because we want to read right now. Later we'll be here because we want to play with slime. We have interests, we share the interests, we hang out. That's kind of all. That's all it is. And I also don't think, I don't know if the people who do those, like, they stay online all day. That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't, but also, do they not realize how much money TikTok takes from that stuff? Well, sure, Liz, of course. Who wouldn't be? I know. Listen, you won't hear me say anything about that. What happened to the reading on your book account? TikTok was causing some trouble with that. I'm trying to work it out, and we'll go back and forth when we can. I think I'm gonna have to start bouncing back and forth between them, but I'm figuring it out. It wasn't letting me download them, so then I couldn't post them on YouTube. I think I might have figured it out this morning. I got one of them downloaded, and that is currently uploading to YouTube as we speak. But it was like, it took multiple days for it to pop up, which isn't normal. And I was like, what are we doing here, guys? But we were also getting, how do I say this without, someone can type the word in the comments. We were getting alerts about things, and we haven't been getting them over here. And I don't know if this is because it's a bigger account, so it has like a little more leniency. That's the word. Becca typed it. I don't want to say these words here, but those are the things that were happening. So it's a little sus, right? Because it's still my face, and it's still me reading the same book. So, they also claimed that I was doing what was the other thing that they said that I was doing? They said that I was doing undisclosed promotion. Undisclosed promotion. I was like, we're just reading a book together, friendos. We're not promoting, we're not selling anything. There's nothing for sale here. It's a book. We're reading it. I got it for free from the library. It's not even paid for. It's free from the library. I was like, what am I undisclosedly promoting? They don't know. They couldn't tell me. I submitted a ticket, and I was like, question mark? And they did not reply. I was like, yeah, I think they probably were pretty upset that I took my book and my slime off of TikTok Shop. I did get a lot of dings after I took them down, but they were costing me too much money. It's cheaper to sell it on my own site. I don't know. Anyway, let's just read. We'll worry about that another time. But that's the answer to your question, Bree. They sure did punish mermaid slimes. They sure did. Yeah. I'm surprised, to be honest, that they would have risked losing that account because she's a big account. I'm surprised that they ever even like messed with her orders. Did I say mermaid slimes? I meant mermaid straws. But like, I'm surprised that they would mess with an account that brings in that much revenue. I really am. My account, whatever, they can lose me. You know what I mean? But they can't lose that as far as cost goes. Like from a business perspective, that's illogical. Her account brings in a ton of money for them. Like, my TikTok shop account was like pennies by comparison. So I don't know what they were thinking there, but listen, I don't run the business department of TikTok. Nor would I, by the way. If they offered me that job, I would be like, that sounds stressful. I'll stay here. Yeah, I know, but I'm surprised that they even gave her the issues that would get her to take it down. That's what I don't understand. Like, if you see that an account is bringing you that much revenue, would you not take the hit on the quote unquote lost orders? We know they weren't lost because we've talked to the customers and we know that they were lying. Like, I've talked to my customers that they claimed the packages were lost from, 3 of whom are moderators on my page, so we all know that's a lie. We're talking about Mermaid Straws, who's a lovely lady who sells amazing stuff that we are all really big fans of, and TikTok was messing with her shop. We're supportive of her and all of her decisions in every direction that she's made. She's made all the correct decisions based on what's happened to her, but like, they made a dumb decision because she's a huge moneymaker for them, and I think messing with her account was stupid, frankly, on their part. I think that they made a dumb decision to mess with her account. Yeah. They lost revenue, for sure, doing that, but yeah, exactly. Well, what choice did she have, Becca? What choice did she have? I support her in her decision. I understand how frustrated she is. I dealt with the exact same violations she was getting. I did. I've said the word. Now they're going to give me one. Anyway, let's read, and we can all go support Lisa anytime we want because we all already do. A ton of us own all of her stuff, so it's not like we don't, you know, promote her shop. Literally. All right. Well, that'll be fun for them. I'm glad I don't have a restock this week, so I don't have to compete with them, right? I don't have another restock for probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks at least. But anyway, let's read chapter 16. Chapter 16 is called The Jailhouse. Did I miss something? No. Must be not what I'm thinking. Over here, you'll find the last photo of Bundy and Claire Carmichael that they ever took, the tour guide said. Okay, it's a museum, never mind. The photograph was taken in 1933 at a secret location organized by the Chicago Daily Tribune. The pair had caused a media sensation during their time on the run and agreed to an interview if the Tribune paid them a costly fee of $100. The newspaper was later criticized for aiding wanted criminals, and their businesses suffered greatly until the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. That's actually interesting. I wonder if that's true. If that is true, that's interesting. The Bundy and Claire Jailhouse Museum in Old Town, Amarillo, Texas, was barely big enough for Cash and the Downers Grove gang to stand comfortably inside. However, at 5 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon, the small brick building was crammed with them, 3 large families, and their tour guide. Here we have a wanted poster from 1929, where the reward for capturing the dangerous duo was set at a whopping $300, the tour guide said. Beside it are some examples of how Bundy and Claire have impacted our pop culture. This beret is one of the many pieces that inspired Marc Jacobs' 2008 fall collection, Bad Mark. Here's a photo from the set of the 1965 film Jailbirds, where Jack Nicholson and Anne Margaret, love her by the way, famously portrayed the Carmichaels. Next to it is a picture from the 2001 television remake starring Frankie Muniz and Hilary Duff. I did not know that that existed. Did you guys know that that existed? Is that a real thing? Is he making this up?
As you may have noticed, the couple were not as attractive in real life as they are often depicted. That's putting it nicely, Joey whispered to Topher. Right? He whispered back. I thought they were bulldogs in people's clothing. The tour guide squeezed through the center of the group to show the items on the other wall. Moving along, she said, this map shows all the locations of Bundy and Claire Carmichael's crimes throughout the late 1920s and early 1930s. As you can see, it reads like a timeline. There were teenage lovebirds from southern Illinois who eloped in 1926 to avoid the arranged marriages planned by their families. Then, in 1927, they met the notorious gangster Babyface Bucky and joined his band of Chicago mobsters. Is this made up? Am I? And he introduced them to the world of crime, and they became the infamous criminals we know today. Is this? Sounds familiar, Mo whispered and then eyed Cash. Well, eventually the Carmichaels had a falling out with Babyface Bucky, and by falling out, I mean they pew-pewed him in the face. In 1929, they fled to Missouri and started their own gang. From 1929 to 1930... Yo, you have seen movies on them? Oh, okay, never mind. I stand corrected. I didn't know any of this. I am learning right now with these characters. The couple committed 27 robberies and 36 pew-pews across the southwestern United States. Law enforcement officials of 8 different states joined forces to track down the pair. After a grueling 6-month manhunt, they captured the Carmichaels in the desert just a few miles away and brought them back to this very jailhouse. The rambunctious couple's story was not over yet. Right this way. Yeah, it does sound like Bonnie and Clyde. That's why I was confused. The tour guide stepped into the jail cell the size of a broom closet. This here is where Bundy and Claire Carmichael awaited trial for 2 whole months. While incarcerated, they befriended the jailer, Officer Clancy Jones. The officer was fascinated with their criminal history, and the manipulative couple took full advantage of him. They filled his head with grandiose stories from their time as outlaws. What is happening here? Stop it. Whatever rando is trying to join this live, get out of here. The officer was fascinated with their criminal history, and the manipulative couple took full advantage of him. They filled his head with grandiose stories from their time as outlaws. Slowly but surely, Bundy and Claire convinced Officer Jones to help them escape and join them on the run. On November 3rd, 1935, the jailer brought them weapons, and as soon as he opened the cell door, they pew-pewed poor Clancy dead. Other police officers nearby heard the pew-pew shots and rushed to the jailhouse, and so began the most infamous pew-pew out in American history. The Carmichaels were outnumbered, out-armed, and out of time. With no possible way for them to get out alive, Bundy made the famous decision to sacrifice himself for his wife. He shielded Claire from the police's pew-pew fire long enough for her to escape into the Texas desert. They spent weeks looking for Claire Carmichael, but this woman was never to be seen or heard from again. All the women in the room sighed and held a hand over their heart. The tour guide pointed to the wall of 1,000 pew-pew holes in the brick wall. As you look around the jailhouse, you can see the damage that resulted, the guide said. That concludes this afternoon's tour of the Bundy and Claire Jailhouse Museum. Are there any questions? Sam raised his hand. Yes, the tour guide said. I've read numerous reports that Bundy and Claire actually seduced Officer Clancy Jones, and they were caught in a devil's threesome when the pew-pew out began, he said. Can you confirm or deny that? The tour guide gulped and side-eyed the families in the jailhouse. That I cannot do, she said. The Bundy and Claire Jailhouse Museum only shares the history that is appropriate for Texan families. Are there any other questions? A little girl raised her hand. I've got one. All right, what is it, Pumpkin? The girl looked up at Cash. Are you the guy from the TV that everybody's talking about? Everyone in the jailhouse turned to Cash like he was the most exciting exhibit on display. Topher, Joey, Sam, and Mo all cringed. Nope, Topher said. That's definitely not him. Yeah, he gets that all the time, though, Sam said. That guy is actually way cuter than this one, Mo added. I've got a question, Joey announced. Can we take pictures of the cell? It was the perfect diversion, and all the families immediately whipped out their cameras. While eagerly awaiting the tour guide's answer, Topher, Joey, Sam, Mo, and Cash made their own Claire Carmichael-esque escape and quickly dashed into the gift shop next door. The museum shop was 5 times the size of the jailhouse itself. They hid the actor behind a towering shelf of tacky merchandise while the other visitors took pictures and eventually headed out. Okay, they're all gone, Topher said from his lookout. I thought the family in the matching t-shirts was never gonna leave. I'm starving. Can we get some food? Joey asked. Ooh, let's do Tex-Mex, Sam said. We aren't going anywhere until I buy these Bundy and Claire salt and pepper shakers, Mo said, and pulled a pair off the shelf. They are too good to pass up. The others waited at the front of the shop while Mo paid at the checkout counter. Topher and Joey browsed a magazine section where they were disheartened to see Cash on the cover of all the tabloids. Apparently, his fainting episode in St. Louis was the biggest story of the week. The boys blocked the magazines so Cash didn't see them, but that didn't shield him from everything in the shop. A television in the corner of the store, corner of the store. What? Let's try that again. A television in the corner of the store was showing an episode of The Panel, a daily talk show hosted by 4 well-known women, a comedian, a trophy wife, a corporate tycoon, and a retired athlete. We all know that this is The View, right? It's obvious it's supposed to be The View. No one was paying attention in the slightest until Cash became their topic of discussion. Well, now you're showing you're not a bot. They don't believe I'm not a bot. They don't believe me. I don't understand. They also don't believe I have a face. This constantly tells me no face detected. It's right here. Eyes, nose, mouth, ears. What else do you need to have a face? Since everyone else in the world is talking about him, well, we might as well too, the comedian said. By now, I'm sure all our viewers have seen the video of actor Cash Carter passing out at a St. Louis concert, or the hilarious remix video that went recently viral. The actor's representation released a statement on Monday saying he was simply dehydrated and is now feeling much better, but not everyone is convinced. Ladies, what do you think? Is this incident the actor's one-night stand with scandal, or is the overture to something far, far worse? Well, this just breaks my heart because my kids and I love Wiz Kids so much, the trophy wife said and placed a hand over the golden cross on her necklace. I know a lot of people have been quick to judge the actor, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of this. We all make mistakes. He probably had too much to drink and he's learning a lesson the hard way. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, this isn't the actor's first episode with questionable behavior, the corporate tycoon said. Since this story broke on Monday, numerous reports have come out of the actor getting drunk at bars, partying at clubs, breaking and entering, receiving various noise complaints at his home, and driving around Hollywood with ladies of the night. All of these incidents have happened within the last 3 months. By the way, I think it's very clear that Cash Carter isn't making mistakes but having some kind of mental breakdown. I agree, the retired athlete said. Personally, I've been dehydrated many times over my career. The way that Mr. Carter was dancing just before losing consciousness is not how someone would be acting if they just needed water. He's been juiced up with the wrong flavor of sauce, as we used to say on the field. I'll be interested to see if this affects viewership of his show when it returns in the fall. I imagine he's disappointed a lot of his fans. You see, I disagree with all of you, the comedian swiveled her head. I did a lot of drugs back in the day, and I know how thirsty it can make you. I believe the statement his reps released, I think they just left out a couple of details. The panel studio audience roared with laughter. The stagehand ran onto the set and handed the comedian a cue card and then hurried off camera. Well, it seems that things are only about to get worse for the Wiz Kids star, she said and looked over at the cue card. Hey, Naisa. According to news that broke during our last commercial break, sources close to the show say that the actor didn't show up for work today. Stunt training for season 10 of Whiz Kids began this morning, but Cash Carter was nowhere to be found. The studio audience booed and hissed. The trophy wife fanned invisible tears in her eyes. I just don't understand why he's doing all this, she said. As a parent, it leads to some very uncomfortable conversations with your children when they see actors that they are their heroes acting so poorly. The world has been watching Cash Carter since he was just 12 years old. We're about halfway through the chapter now, you said, just about halfway. This is not the Dr. Bumfuzzle that we all know and love. Yeah, but that isn't even the real problem, the corporate tycoon asked. Wait, but isn't that the real problem? The corporate tycoon asked. I've never seen the show, but I recognize him as that character. And when you're recognizable as a character from something, it can damage an actor's longevity. I'm gonna be frank, the kid's probably never gonna work again after Whiz Kids. I bet he's starting to realize that, and that's what's at the core of the bad behavior. It's gotta be a tough pill to swallow knowing that you'll spend the rest of your career at conventions, especially when lesser known co-stars are booking jobs like Mothman. The audience agreed with her analysis and applauded. Well, we want to hear what our viewers think, the retired athlete said directly into the camera. Is Cash Carter the next Bieber, Britney, or Bynes? Is this breakdown a meltdown or just a letdown? How many strikes does he have before he should be taken out of the game? Go to the panel website to share your thoughts. Enter to win a prize vacation to Puerto Rico, courtesy of American Airlines, and we will be right back after this commercial break. The panel went to commercial break, ending the hypnotic trance the program had placed over Topher, Joey, Sam, and Mo. As much as it infuriated them to watch, they couldn't take their eyes off of it. They all turned to Cash with the deepest sympathy on their face, but once again were more affected than the actor himself. Cash just let out a heavy sigh, rubbed his eyes as if he'd been assigned homework instead of a criticism on national television. I've been avoiding reality for long enough, he said. You guys go to dinner without me. I have to go back to the hotel and make some calls before this gets any bigger. Cash headed out of the gift shop, but Topher was compelled to ask him something before he left. Hey, Cash? He said. It's not true, is it? You're not really missing work to be here with us, are you? The actor paused for a moment before responding, which wasn't reassuring. No, of course not, he said. Just a bunch of bull to keep the story going. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the morning. Cash exited through the gift shop and walked across Old Town Amarillo to the Teepee Inn at the end of the street. The others searched the area for Tex-Mex restaurant and found one nearby called the Armadillo Kitchen. They ordered a mountain of guacamole and entrees drenched in cheese, but they barely spoke to one another during the meal. They were on their phones checking Whiz Kids blogs and fan forums. Unfortunately, the latest gossip about Cash was all the rage in the Wizard universe too. I'm seriously amazed that the story is still going, Sam said. It's one thing to have all the wizards focused on Cash, but the whole world is talking about how he didn't show up for work today. Is there really nothing else going on? And people are actually believing this crap, Mo said. A tabloid in the UK called The Beast said that Cash missed work because he's in hiding from a Russian DRUG lord he owes money to. Now the wizards in Florida have started a GoFundMe page to help him pay it off. Joey shrugged. We have fallen for some stupid things written about Cash before. Remember the rumors about him leaving Whiz Kids to join NASA's mission to Mars? We obsessed over that, and it wasn't even from a reliable source. Who knows what we would believe right now if we weren't actually with the dude? Topher clicked off his phone and sat back in his chair. A strong suspicion had been eating at him for a while, but until now he had no real reason to voice it to the group. Are we sure that Cash is being honest with us? He asked. Yeah, to a fault, Mo said. Sam and Joey agreed and nodded, but they weren't getting Topher's point. Listen, I know we want to defend and protect Cash because we had a lot of fun with him, but do we have any proof that the media isn't right about him? He asked. What if he was on DRUGS that night at the concert? What if all those PILLS he's always taking aren't for his sinuses? What if... It's okay, Jack. I've finally figured out the problem, and they're downloading right now all of the other episodes, so this will go up shortly. What if joining our road trip is just a part of his breakdown? Maybe he was always stretching the truth to cover up the truth? From the concerned look on his friends' faces, Topher could tell it had crossed their minds too, but just like him, no one wanted to doubt the actor yet. Topher, you read way too many John Grisham books, Joey said. I think Cash was getting some bad press in Los Angeles, wanted to clear his head, so he took the first opportunity he got to get away. Unfortunately, the whole thing totally backfired on him. Sure, he drinks like a fish and probably smokes like a chimney, and he isn't careful about mixing them both with medication, but I think we know that if he was mentally unbalanced or an addict of some kind, we'd recognize it. I agree, Mo said. With all the other shit that keeps coming out of his mouth, I doubt he'd be able to keep that kind of deep, dark secret from us. On the contrary, I bet he would love to bring it up and see the terror in our eyes. He really seems to get off on that. They all laughed, but Topher felt guilty for bringing it up and went quiet. Listen, I get what you're saying, Topher, Sam said, but remember what you said at McCarthy's about letting Cash be human that he rarely gets the chance to be? Well, you were right. He lets this human side of him show too much, and now the whole world is painting him like some sort of scoundrel. So the least we can do is give him the benefit of the doubt. No one else seems to be doing that. Topher smiled sweetly at him. Only Sam could tell Topher he was wrong about something, but make him feel good about it at the same time. In fact, Sam was the only person in the whole world who made Topher feel a lot of unique feelings, and the longer he smiled at him, the stronger Topher's feelings became. I cannot even with Kylie Trigg right now, Mo said, and dramatically put her phone away. Ah, boy, what'd she do now? Joey asked. Well, apparently, she's trying to organize a wizard protest to march outside of Cash's house in Los Angeles, Mo said. She thinks that it would persuade him to go back to work. I couldn't bring myself to watch her newest video. Can we please just change the subject? Let's talk about something else, anything else. I really enjoyed the museum today, Sam said. Oh, yeah, that was awesome, Joey said. Such an incredible story. I know, right? Mo said. It was like something straight off the pages of my fan fiction. Can you imagine loving someone so much that you would die for them? Be still my heart. Yeah, well, I'm beginning to, Topher said. Although Sam purposely didn't look up at him, he could feel Topher's gaze aimed in his direction. As if Topher's eyes lit a fuse inside him, a powerful surge of guilt exploded in Sam's core. It burned so strongly that he worried it would give him an ulcer if he didn't do something. Sam couldn't keep the truth from Topher any longer. The next moment they were alone, he was going to tell him. And since there was no way of knowing how Topher would react, Sam dreaded that moment like an approaching plague. Later, at the teepee inn, Sam couldn't sleep a wink with the looming confession on his mind. At midnight, he decided he would go for a walk and clear his head. He gathered his things and quietly snuck out of teepee number 3 without waking his friends. Old Town Amarillo was completely deserted this late at night, and Sam kept a watchful eye for anything or anyone lurking in the shadows. But he was completely alone with his thoughts. He wandered up and down the street for a couple of hours, but the old western part of the town didn't offer any new solutions. Sam had a seat on the bench just outside the Bundy and Claire Jailhouse Museum and hoped the ghost of Claire Carmichael might show up and give him advice on how to escape his own troublesome situation. Hey, Captain Janaway. Sam jumped at the unexpected voice. It echoed through the vacant street, but it couldn't find a source anywhere. I'm up here. He looked up and saw Cash sitting on the roof of the Jailhouse Museum. The actor held an open bottle of Johnny Walker Black in one hand and sipped from a Dixie cup that he held in the other. He had a crooked smile and glossy eyes, obviously schminschmoxicated. Sam could smell the whiskey on Cash's breath from where he sat. What the hell are you doing all the way up there? He asked. Getting grog, Cash laughed. You couldn't sleep either? Oh, I've got a lot of college stuff on my mind, Sam lied. Nothing like what you're dealing with, of course. It's no mystery why you're still up. Yeah, it's been a fist F of a day, Cash said, and my teepee smelled like cat piss and mistakes. You want to come up here and join me? No point in being insomniacs by ourselves. Sam shrugged. He didn't have anything better to do. How do you even get up there? There's a ladder in the back next to the trash cans, Cash said. Sam found the ladder and climbed onto the roof. The view wasn't much different from the bench down below, but they could see some of the lights from downtown Amarillo and the neighborhoods in the distance. Care for a drink? Cash asked. Sam's initial instinct was to deny the offer, but given his current state of mind, he thought maybe he could use one. I've never had a drink before, Sam said. Will it help me sleep? Like mother's milk, Cash said. The actor poured whiskey into another Dixie cup for Sam and topped off his own. Cash threw his head back and drank his in one gulp. Sam copied him. Once it was swallowed, Sam coughed and gagged as if the actor had poisoned him. Oh my gosh, Oh, I didn't realize that's Janeway. Okay, I didn't know that, Brie. Thank you. I had no idea what that was a reference to, clearly. Ugh, that tastes like battery acid, Sam guessed. How do you drink this stuff? Burns at first, but then it numbs everything else, Cash said. I could use a little numbing after today. The actor refilled their cups and they each took another shot. The second one was easier than the first, but it was still very unpleasant. Sam felt his cheeks getting warm and his mind started to slow down like he had taken too much cold medicine. It was a nice change, and also words began spilling out of his mouth before he had a chance to think about them. "I'm sorry the world won't leave you alone," Sam said. "It's really cruel for everyone to analyze you like they are. It's like everyone forgets you're a human being because you're on television." I'm used to it," Cash said. "You lose the right to humanity when you become famous. It's just the way it is. I'm not going to whine about it. It's similar to how people treated the monarchy back in the olden days. It's all fun and games until the revolution comes and they want your head on a platter. This week, it's my turn to be Marie Antoinette. Next week, it'll be someone else's." "But that doesn't make it right," Sam insisted. "And for the record, I don't care what the women of the panel say. You're absolutely going to work again. Any director or studio would be lucky to have someone as talented and popular as you in their project. It's ridiculous for anyone to think otherwise." "Oh, no. They're definitely right about that," Cash laughed. "It wasn't a recent revelation, though. I've known that since, season 2. I'll never forget the time a director wouldn't let me audition for his reboot of Beverly Hills Chihuahua. If that's not humbling, I don't know what is. Doesn't bother me, though. I mean, c'est la vie, right?" The actor took a chug straight from the whiskey bottle and stared out at the city lights ahead. Sam didn't understand how he could be so carefree about it. "What does bother you, then?" he asked. "I don't mean to pry, but if the world was saying or thinking half of the same things about me, I would be a wreck." Cash came to think about it and nodded when the answer came to him. "I suppose being compared to something that isn't real is what bothers me the most," the actor said. "It's a real mind-F when you're held to fictional standards. People have thought of me as a quantum physics expert since I was 12 years old, and every time I prove that I'm not, they act like I'm doing something wrong, like I'm offending them by stepping outside the parameters of the character I play on TV. Does that make sense?" Sam nodded too. It resonated with him a lot more than Cash could have ever thought. Yeah, I think so," Sam said. "Because they've seen you doing it for so long, they don't realize how much of a performance it is. So anytime they're reminded it isn't real, it's a betrayal or an attack on something that they love." "Right," Cash said. "People get addicted to the fantasy that you provide them, and they turn on you the second that you can't give it to them anymore. You know, if I were a rock star, no one would be talking about me right now. That's the only reason it's making so much of a splash, is because my behavior on TV is un-Dr. Bumfuzzle life. You get what I'm saying?" "Yeah, no, completely," Sam said softly. "People give you the wrong expectations and then they blame you when you can't meet them. It's your fault for not being the person they want you to be. You're the freak. You're the monster, when in reality, you're just trying to be yourself." He couldn't tell if it was the whiskey or the conversation, but Sam was becoming emotional. He looked down toward the city lights to hide his glistening eyes. Cash was shocked by how much Sam actually understood. "Yeah, exactly," he said. "Truthfully, that's been the hardest part about being on WizKids. Nothing is worse than having your whole world think you're something that you're not. It's lonely, it's frustrating, it's painful, more painful than anyone could ever." Sam suddenly burst into tears like a broken sprinkler system. They poured down his face so forcefully that he couldn't keep up with wiping them away. He sobbed so hard that he could barely catch his breath and made little yelping noises like a small dog. The emotional release took Cash completely by surprise, and he stared at Sam like he was a vase he accidentally knocked over in his drunken state. Hey, what's the matter, Sam?" Cash asked. "Nothing," Sam sniffled. "I'll be fine." "Was it something I said?" No, Sam cried. "I understand. It took more than you know." Sam used his whole shirt to wipe away his tears, but they just kept coming. "Do you want to talk about it?" Cash asked. "I can't," he said. "I'm not ready to talk to someone about it yet." "Yeah, well, lucky for you, I'm not a person. I'm a celebrity. Remember?" Cash joked, but that didn't help. "No offense, but you should probably get it off your chest before you flood the city. It'll feel better if you just let it out." As if he'd been struck by emotional food poisoning, Sam couldn't hold the secret in any longer. "I'm transgender," Sam declared. I know what it's like to have everyone treat you like something you're not because people have been doing it to me my whole life. I've never met someone who could relate, but it's like everything you said is so true. We're both trapped. We're both prisoners. It is unfair expectations." The confession took Cash a moment to process. He had thought it would be about affording to go to college, trouble with his friends, or something to do with his mother, but he never expected Sam's dilemma would be so personal. The actor looked around the roof to see if there was someone more qualified to handle the situation, but he was all Sam had. "Wow," Cash said. I thought you were just rocking the Anne Hathaway look. Are you positive that you're transgender? Yeah, of course I'm positive, Sam said. It's not something someone just says for the hell of it. I've never once identified with being female. Every time I see myself in the mirror or a photograph, I feel like I'm looking at someone else. I know I'm trans, like I know we're breaking several state laws by drinking on this roof right now. Wow. Have you ever talked to anyone else about this? Cash asked. I went to a psychologist in Downers Grove, Sam said. He basically told me that I was mentally ill. Other than him, you're the only person I've ever told. Whoa! It's really hard for some people to understand. But it shouldn't be, Sam said. I have the heart and the mind of a man. I want the rest of me to match. It's just that simple. So you haven't told your friends or family? Cash asked. My mom probably thinks that transgender means a rare tiger species, he said. When I was younger, I was afraid to tell my friends because I was afraid of how they'd react. Now I know that they would accept me. I'm just afraid that my honesty might hurt someone in particular. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir on that one, Cash said. I'm guessing you're talking about Topher, huh? Sam glanced at him like the actor had read his mind. How did you know that? Please, that kid's easier to read than Dick and Jane, Cash said. I've seen how he glances at you in the car and across the table at lunch. It's adorable and pathetic at the same time. Wow, that pendulum swings both ways, Sam said. What? Cash asked. You mean you got the hots for Topher as well? Well, you certainly hide it better than he does. Sam nodded. Yeah, no, it was a recent discovery, he explained. I used to think that I was hiding the truth from Topher because I was protecting his feelings. I didn't want him to get hurt when he realized the girl of his dreams was actually a guy. And now I realize that I've been hiding the truth from myself to protect my feelings. I'm scared he isn't going to like the real me, or they'll be upset when he learns I've been lying to him. I'll understand if our relationship doesn't go beyond friendship, but I can't think of anything worse than losing him completely. Jesus, Cash said. There isn't a Taylor Swift song to get you through that one, is there? I'm sure there is. Nope, Sam said. Oh, come on, Sam. Don't be a Debbie Downer. There's a Taylor Swift song for everything. Cash poured another round of whiskey shots, and neither of them felt the burn in their throats this time. Forgive my ignorance, but is all of this gonna change? The actor asked. Will you, start liking girls after you transition, or... No. Gender identity and sexual orientations are completely different, Sam explained. Most people don't understand that it's a completely separate issue, and it's different for every trans person. There are a number of ways that someone can transition, but it rarely changes that. Really? Cash said. Huh. I didn't know that there were options. Well, of course, Sam said. Some trans people are gender fluid and they switch from female to male over time. Some are gender queer and they may relate to neither or form a combination of the two. Others are, another word I can't say on here, and emotionally and psychologically relate to the opposite, like me. You can change a body, but you can't really change a soul. The heart wants what the heart wants. Wow, Cash said. That's kind of incredible. Oh, come on. It's not like we're magical creatures or something, Sam said. No, I mean, you're incredible, Cash said. Most people spend their 20s and 30s finding themselves, but you know exactly who you are before college. That's really inspiring. Sam had spent so much time focusing on his disadvantages that he never realized there might be an advantage hidden among them. Well, thanks, I guess, he said. I never thought of it like that, though. It's a tough world to find yourself in, but an even tougher one to be yourself in. The world has never been a great place, but that shouldn't stop you from being your greatest self, Cash said. It's not going to be easy, but is anything worse than living someone else's life? Look at me. I've pissed off every prepubescent science fiction nerd in the whole world by being myself, but I wouldn't take it back. You might be scared now, but you got to imagine how good it'll feel once you cross the finish line. Let that encourage you, not your fears. Sam agreed and tried to put on a brave face, but it was the first time that he'd ever felt like someone was actually listening instead of diagnosing him. A couple more tears spilled down his face and Cash wiped them away with his sleeve. Sam couldn't believe that he was still talking to the same man that they'd met on Sunday. Where did all this insightful knowledge come from? Sam asked. Where was this guy while the other Cash was getting us stoned and giving us fake IDs? Cash laughed. Listen, a lot of knowledge comes with transitioning. And you aren't the only one going through that, he said. I'm turning into a big old has-been, remember? Sam smiled for the first time that night. The actor poured one final round of whiskey shots before they headed back to the teepee inn. Cash held up his Dixie cup to toast him. To transitioning, Cash said. To transitioning, Sam repeated. Very sweet. Sometimes you need an outsider to give you a little push, you know? Very sweet. All right. Cheers to Cash for being the insightful source of wisdom. I know, right, Brie? It was very heartwarming. Very sweet. Just a reminder, I do leave early before book club tomorrow morning to go watch the kids, so there will be no book club tomorrow morning. That all being said, we might have a late night book club tomorrow night if the kids go to bed on time. I will post updates on that as I know how they are handling the day. I will post links for that, all sorts of stuff. It will not be this book, so if you are here for this book and you're worried you're gonna miss out on a chapter because you can't make a nighttime one, don't worry. We're gonna do something else so that no one misses out, and we will pick this back up again on Monday next week because I don't come home until Sunday evening. Tell the babes your friends that we will. Oh, don't worry. You guys will. I'm sure you'll hear them in the background of videos. I will still have videos to post, and we'll still have other stuff going on. I will be posting info about this month's stuff on Patreon and all sorts of stuff like that. It's been made pretty clear that you guys want to learn how to make sand slime this month. Yes, me too. I hope so, right? And all that stuff. All of the back chapters of this are trying to download right now, so those should be uploaded shortly. So if any of you missed any of the chapters, you can use this time to catch up. Also, this book is almost over, so we need to pick a next book. So if anyone has any fun suggestions or ideas, not only for tomorrow night, but for that, we should start discussing what we want to do next so I can go to the store and get that. And that's pretty much the whole kit and caboodle on my end. So that's it. I'm gonna go get some slime stuff done and pre-film some videos before I have to scooch down to Orange County tomorrow. Yes, let's all brainstorm some next books, please. I would love suggestions. Me too, Naisa. I just can't predict, you know, you can't predict babies, right? There's no trying to do that. He might go to sleep on time, he might not. We'll see. He's 14 months old. Who's to say? That's it. So have a great rest of your day. I'll probably see you this evening for some slime stuff. What? I do not know. All right. Bye, guys.